Welcome back. In the 1950s, the CIA operated a secret training ground here on Saipan. Capitol Hill was called Army Hill. Locals were not allowed to visit the Marpi or Cagman areas. The clandestine program was implemented to stop communist expansion in Asia and to train personnel to infiltrate both mainland China and North Korea. Nancy Ernie was a small child then. She did not know much about what her father did, but she did know not to ask.
Over the years, we have done a number of stories about Americans who were here during World War II. Who can forget General Paul Tibbetts' recent return to both Saipan and Tinian?
They gave me the boundaries. The details I had to work out.
Or Hap Halloran's account of taking off from Saipan and then being shot down over Tokyo and held as a prisoner of war.
And 6 of my crew died that day on the ground.
But while tens of thousands of Americans were here in the 40s, there were just a few dozen here in the 50s, and the operation was covert. Nancy was one of those here. She was 6. Her father was working for the Central Intelligence Agency. Now, your dad was in the CIA?
He was in government work that was,
and what
secret.
Kind of,
I didn't know what it was.
What kind of things did he do here? What was his workday like here?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to him about it later in life, or is it something that he just kept to himself throughout his life?
He was pretty private about what he did most of the time, but I believe they were helping to fight for, they were helping to train people to fight for freedom.
They lived on a compound, didn't have much contact with the local community, and even had false last names, but they were allowed to have fun.
It was such a happy time for me, and a carefree time, and a close-knit family time.
They drove in jeeps and weapons carriers, made ocean rafts, and got some very unique island experiences.
I remember the lifeguard down at the beach caught a sea turtle one day by holding onto him and biting him on the back of the neck, and he took the turtle meat back to his family, and he gave us the turtle shell, and it was about this high. It was a great big one, and we took that back to the States and actually ended up using it as a sled in Virginia, and it was quite a hit for coming from Saipan.
And Christmases on Saipan will never be forgotten, especially when Santa Claus appeared out of the sky.
He parachuted out, first his bag full of toys for all of us, and second, Santa Claus parachuted out. And we saw him landing over on the fields. Our names were on it, and Santa was here, and he individually dropped onto Saipan Island just for us kids. That happened both years that I was here, and we were pretty darn excited about it. I even remember the gifts I got that year.
This is Nancy's first time back, and she has her husband Gary and son Robert along for the ride.
About that part of her life for the 45 years of our marriage. And now she's had the opportunity to come back and experience it. And I've had the privilege of actually seeing all of these things that she saw.
When Robert was a little boy, his mom used to sing him to sleep with a song about Saipan.
And of course, hearing the stories of her growing up and everything, it's great to be able to actually put it together in a physical place. So it's been great for me to see it.
What are you going to tell your mom when you get back?
I'm going to tell her how lovely it felt to be in the foliage and in the air that was here. And it is as lovely an island as I remembered. And I just am grateful to my parents for us having this neat experience. Upon the hills lies the village of the place that I love best. In my home in Saipan, where the roses bloom no more, by my little rancho door, in my home on the hills of Saipan.